The cameras caught it all, and within hours, it sparked a firestorm that has the entire NBA world divided. On Christmas Day, December 25, 2025, before the Los Angeles Lakers faced the Houston Rockets at the Crypto.com arena, LeBron James was captured on broadcast footage making exaggerated arm movements during the playing of the United States national anthem, movements that millions of viewers interpreted as golf swing practice, and the backlash has been absolutely ruthless. If you want to stay updated on the biggest controversies in breaking stories in sports, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. The incident unfolded in front of a packed arena and a national television audience tuning in for what's become an NBA Christmas tradition spanning over 7 decades. As the Star-Spangled Banner echoed through the arena, most Lakers players stood still, hands either over their hearts or clasped behind their backs in the customary display of respect. But LeBron James, the league's all-time leading scorer and one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet, was facing away from center court, swaying back and forth with arm motions so pronounced that ESPN's official TikTok account posted the clip with the caption, "Bron working on his golf swing?" The video went viral within hours, accumulating millions of views and igniting a debate that has consumed sports talk shows, social media platforms, and everyday conversations across America. Critics slammed the gesture as deeply disrespectful to the national anthem and the men and women who've served in the military, while defenders argued it was nothing more than harmless pregame stretching blown out of proportion by people looking for controversy. But here's where this story gets even more interesting, because this wasn't an isolated incident. Just 3 days later, on December 28th, before the Lakers faced the Sacramento Kings, LeBron was once again caught on camera doing similar movements during the anthem, and this time the reaction was even more intense. Sports pundit Craig Carton led the charge against the 40-year-old superstar on his podcast, unleashing a brutal critique that captured the frustration many fans were feeling. Carton didn't hold back, stating that if LeBron wanted to disregard his coach and teammates and be an individual type of player, he should do it on his own time, but the national anthem wasn't the moment for it. He questioned why someone would choose that sacred time to work on air swings, suggesting that since LeBron doesn't play good basketball anymore, maybe he's focusing on his golf game instead. The comment cut deep, because there's truth underlying the criticism. The Lakers have been struggling, and on that Christmas Day when the anthem controversy erupted, they would go on to lose to the Rockets in devastating fashion, 119-96, marking their 3rd consecutive defeat. LeBron finished with just 18 points, 5 assists, and posted a game-worst -33 plus-minus rating, meaning the Lakers were brutally outscored when he was on the floor.
But to understand why this controversy has struck such a nerve, you need to understand LeBron's recent obsession with golf, an obsession that has become so consuming it's raising questions about his commitment to basketball in what everyone agrees is the twilight of his legendary career. Back in July 2025, LeBron posted a video on Instagram with the caption, "Day 2 of officially trying this out," showing himself swinging a golf club. At the time, many thought it was just a casual hobby, but as the months progressed, it became clear this was something deeper. On November 13, 2025, LeBron posted on social media declaring, "I love watching YouTube golf videos. Random, I know. LOL. So cool." The tweet garnered over 27 million views, revealing just how invested he'd become in golf content from creators like Bryson DeChambeau, the Bryan brothers, and Grant Horvat. Then came the moment that really opened people's eyes. After the Lakers defeated the Utah Jazz on December 19, a reporter asked LeBron if he thought Jazz guard Keontae George was playing at an all-star level this season. LeBron's response was telling and brutally honest in a way that shocked even longtime followers of his career. He said he was the wrong guy to ask that question because he watches YouTube golf these days, so he's not qualified to comment on NBA players anymore. He admitted he's more into the Bryan brothers, Grant Horvat, Bryson DeChambeau, and the rest of those golf content creators. This admission was staggering. Here was LeBron James, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, admitting on the record that he's watching more golf content than basketball, that he's not even keeping up with other NBA players because he's so consumed by his new passion. The revelation sent shockwaves through the basketball community because it suggested a mental and emotional distance from the game that has defined his entire existence for over 2 decades. LeBron's former teammate and close friend, Dwyane Wade, even cracked jokes about the situation during an NBA on Prime broadcast. When discussing Lakers coach J.J. Redick's recent criticisms of the team's effort and intensity after their string of losses, Wade quipped that LeBron is on his golf simulator right now and not worried about any of it. The comment was meant to be lighthearted, but it underscored a growing perception that LeBron's mind and heart are increasingly somewhere else. Videos emerged of LeBron practicing his golf grip and swing in the tunnel before games, incorporating it into his pregame routine. Clips showed him doing golf motions during timeouts in games against the Suns. The pattern was unmistakable. LeBron James, at age 40 and in his 23rd NBA season, has mentally checked out to some degree, his attention shifting toward a sport that offers him something basketball no longer can. In a podcast earlier in the year with Steve Nash, LeBron explained why golf has captivated him so profoundly. He admitted the golf bug is real, something he'd heard about for years but never thought would affect him since he'd never liked golf before. But the sport has offered him a unique mental challenge, an individual pursuit where there's no pressure to position teammates, no team dynamics to manage, just him versus the course. He described it as uncomfortable in the best way, hard as hell but fascinating, a mental puzzle that has consumed his free time to the point where his social media algorithm is now dominated by golf content. He confessed that golf is one of the few places where he doesn't get bothered as much, where he can exist without the constant scrutiny and pressure that has defined his public life since he was a teenager. Former world #1 golfer Jason Day once brutally assessed LeBron's actual golf ability back in 2018, saying he'd seen LeBron swing and it looked terrible, just awful, suggesting the hand-eye coordination that makes him a basketball legend doesn't automatically translate to golf. But LeBron's commitment to the sport has only intensified, with reports suggesting he recently had a golf simulator installed in his house, allowing him to practice whenever he wants.
The national anthem controversy, however, opened wounds that go far deeper than golf obsession. LeBron has a complicated history with the anthem, one that makes this current incident particularly sensitive for many fans. During the 2020 NBA bubble in Orlando, Florida, following the police shooting of Jacob Blake and in the aftermath of George Floyd's death, LeBron joined countless other players and coaches in kneeling during the national anthem as a protest against racial injustice and police brutality. That gesture, which Colin Kaepernick had pioneered years earlier in the NFL, became a defining moment of that era, a statement that sports and politics were inseparable when matters of life and death were at stake. But while the 2020 kneeling was understood as a deliberate, powerful political statement, this current situation feels different. This isn't a protest, this appears to be indifference, and for many critics, indifference is somehow worse. Social media exploded with reactions, ranging from fury to mockery. One viral tweet declared, "Per usual, LeBron James is disrespecting the national anthem. Is there a bigger scumbag in the NBA than this D-bag?" Another compared him unfavorably to Michael Jordan, writing, "MJ shed tears when he sang the national anthem 30 years ago, but LeBron was practicing his golf swing. Jordan would never. Shows who truly is the GOAT." The comments reflect a broader cultural divide about respect, patriotism, and the expectations placed on high-profile athletes during ceremonial moments. Critics argue that LeBron, who has become a billionaire and global icon thanks to opportunities afforded by America, should show basic respect during the 90 seconds it takes to honor the flag and those who've defended it. They point out that this is someone who has never shied away from political statements when it suited him, yet now can't be bothered to stand still during the anthem because he's too focused on his golf swing. The symbolism is damning, they argue. A man who has everything America could offer, showing contempt for its most sacred ritual. But defenders push back hard against this interpretation. They note that players aren't formally required to adopt any specific posture during the anthem, that many athletes move around, stretch, and prepare mentally during those moments without facing scrutiny. They suggest the focus on LeBron is selective outrage, driven by people who've never liked him and are looking for any reason to attack. Some argue the movements might have been simple stretching or restlessness before tip-off, not deliberate golf practice. They point out that the video went viral days after it was filmed, suggesting manufactured controversy rather than spontaneous outrage. LeBron himself has remained completely silent on the matter, offering no explanation, no apology, no clarification. His social media accounts have continued posting about golf and other topics, but he hasn't addressed the Anthem footage directly. This silence is characteristic of where LeBron is in his career and life. He's past the point of feeling obligated to explain himself to critics, past the point of worrying about public perception in the way he might have a decade ago. He's already secured his legacy as one of the greatest ever. He's already made his fortune, and he's already playing alongside his son Bronny in what will likely be his final season. The question becomes, what does LeBron James owe anyone at this stage? The Lakers are struggling, sitting at a mediocre record despite having LeBron and Luka Doncic on the roster. Coach Redick has openly criticized the team's lack of effort and execution, saying some players don't seem to care enough right now. The Christmas Day loss was particularly ugly, with the Rockets dominating every facet of the game, out-rebounding the Lakers 48-25, scoring 68 points in the paint and never trailing. Austin Reeves, one of LA's key players, didn't return for the second half due to a sore left calf, leaving an already depleted roster even more vulnerable. The timing of the Anthem controversy couldn't be worse for a team desperately trying to salvage its season. Instead of focusing on fixing their defensive issues and offensive execution, they're dealing with media questions about whether their franchise player respects the national anthem or if he's too distracted by golf to care about basketball anymore. It's become a distraction in the worst possible way, the kind that feeds into existing narratives about LeBron's priorities and commitment level. What makes this entire situation so fascinating and tragic is that it perfectly encapsulates the final chapter of a legendary career. LeBron James has given basketball everything for 23 years, carrying teams to championships, breaking records, redefining what longevity and excellence look like in professional sports. He's played in 27 consecutive Christmas Day games, a tradition that began in 2004 and has become as much a part of the holiday as anything else. He sacrificed his body, managed unimaginable pressure, and maintained a level of performance that defies normal human aging. But now, at 40 years old, with his 41st birthday approaching in just days, with more than 2 decades of basketball behind him, he's finding joy and challenge and peace in something else. Golf offers him what basketball no longer can: a fresh start, a beginner's mind, a place where he's not the king, but just another person trying to master a difficult sport. The problem is that he's still being paid millions of dollars to play basketball, still showing up to NBA games, still wearing a Lakers uniform, and the dissonance between where his mind is and where his body needs to be is creating friction that's impossible to ignore.
The national anthem gesture, whether intentional disrespect or innocent stretching, has become a symbol of that disconnect. It's a visual representation of a man whose heart and attention have moved on, even as his professional obligations keep him tethered to a game he's given everything to. The controversy will continue to rage, with people interpreting the footage through their own ideological lenses, seeing what they want to see. But underneath all the noise and debate, there's a simpler truth. LeBron James is tired. He's done. He's ready for the next chapter. And while he might play out this season, and maybe even another, the Anthem footage revealed what everyone already suspected but didn't want to admit. The king has already abdicated the throne in his mind. He's just waiting for his body to catch up so he can walk away for good and focus on the things that actually bring him joy now, like standing on a golf course somewhere, finally able to be uncomfortable in a way that feels like freedom rather than burden. This story is based on reports from ESPN, multiple sports media outlets, social media footage, and ongoing developments as of early January 2026. Information continues to emerge, and perspectives on the incident remain divided. LeBron James has not publicly commented on the Anthem controversy as of this publication.